Hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the Chinese stocks listed in the US. Before we begin, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you greatly help out the channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with BABA, BABA. So Alibaba had a very good week. Unfortunately, on Thursday and Friday, the candles didn't really look too good. So if we are able to once again cross this 120 resistance, then we're likely to see 124 being tested, which is around 124.7, and thereafter retesting 138 if we manage to clear this 130 psychological resistance. That's it. If we start pulling back down, then we are looking towards some potential supports. The first support at 111 has already been broken on Friday and Thursday, in fact. So we'll be looking at 104 and 99.54, just below this $100 psychological resistance support rather. So looking at this blue conversion line is currently at 106.47, so we are about just $3 away. So these will act as some temporary support as well. And not forgetting, on the way down, we also have some cloud support. So this will act as a relatively temporary support for Alibaba as well in the event that we do pull back down to those levels. Let's move on to Tencent. So Tencent holding this OTC. As you can see, we did not manage to break up above this resistance here at $51. So we hit a high of 51.58 just on Wednesday. And if we manage to clear, then the next resistance to watch should be 53.42, 57.63, and $63 after clearing the $60 psychological resistance. That said, we are currently finding some support along the cloud area. So on the way down, the cloud acts as a support. If we start breaking back down, 49.36 is a temporary support. Thereafter, 47.61 and 46.39 to watch out for. Next up, we have NetEase. So NetEase is a particularly strong stock. You can see that hit 78.6% at 107.58. And we found some struggling around here where many sellers start to appear. If we do actually break up above this level here and even break above this 110 psychological resistance, then we're likely to head back towards a high of 118.19. That said, if we pull back down, then you can see that this blue conversion line is at 103, coincides with this 78.6%, and we're looking at 61.8%, 99.38, and the next support will be 96.49. Once again, we are above the clouds, so we're still uptrending for now. Let's move on to NIO. So for NIO, on Friday, didn't really had a very good closing. As you can see, we closed below this 78.6%, 1857. We managed to go above this 61.8%, 1928. However, on Thursday and Friday, you can see that we actually started to come back down, and this was not really very sustainable. So if we actually go back and clear this $20 psychological resistance and not have a fake breakout like this one, then we're likely to be heading towards 21.35 and even potentially testing 23.98. That said, supports to watch out for will be 17.10, 16.06, which coincides with this rate baseline as well. Currently now you can see that NIO is being supported by the clouds, so we can see some support and temporary buyers stepping in at these cloud areas. Let's move on to JD.com. So JD, you can see that the recent low was around 46.83, and then we hit a high of previous high was around 69.43. Unfortunately, we are unable to break out above this 69.43 high. We hit a 67.30, and we started to pull back down on Thursday and Friday, similar to other Chinese stocks. So on the way down, there will be some cloud support at around $58. And there will be some Fibonacci supports as well at 59.48 and 57.07. So this will act as a temporary support for JD. As of now, we are still looking at this higher lows here, and we're also looking at higher highs for now. So if we can start creating a higher low here, then that would be good. But if we start to break down this resistance level, then that will not be too good. What we want to see is previous resistance here has turned into support, and thereafter we can continue to trend back up. Let's move on to Baidu. So BIDU, quite similar to NetEase. You can see that it already hit this very close to this 8.6% at 156. On Wednesday, it hit a high of 155.70. So if we actually clear this 156 and even 160 psychological resistance, then we're likely to be heading towards to retest a high of 171.87. If we start pulling back down, then the supports to watch will be 135 and 128 respectively. There is also some cloud support here, so you can see that the cloud is relatively thick. So hopefully buyers will start stepping in at these support levels. Let's move on to PDD or Pinduoduo. So PDD had a very fantastic run quite recently. You can clearly see that this is a wave pattern here, and this is a higher low compared to this low here, and there's also a higher high at this high here. So we hit a high of 66.53. Unfortunately, there was a lot of sellers here and we were not able to test a $70 psychological resistance. So if we were to break out above this 66.53, then we're likely to be looking towards this $70 psychological resistance and even potentially retest this high here at 71.27. And if we can break out, that'll be good. But that said, stocks do not go out in a straight line, so we tend to form in a wave pattern. So if it's overextended, then we're likely to pull back down before going back up once again. Supports to watch will be 58.93, 52.96, and 48.77 respectively. Let's move on to KWEB. So KWEB, you can see that from its recent high of 39.80 to a recent low of 20.41, we started to trend back up once again. You can see that this blue conversion line cut above this red baseline, and so far it's still above it. So that is good for now. On Friday, we saw some support coming in at this blue conversion line, so that is good. So hopefully next week can continue its momentum. Resistance to watch will be this after crossing this 32.39, we have to break above this 34.12 and 35.65, and even potentially retest 39.80 or even the $40 psychological resistance as well. Supports to watch out for will be 30.15, 28.92, and 27.69. Let's move on to CWEB. So CWEB, you can see that we found some resistance here. So it seems like a double top pattern. In this particular area here, there's a lot of sellers, and we hit a double top as well. So on Thursday and Friday, we saw some selling pressure, and the candles didn't look too good. So the resistance to watch would be 81.87, 93.14, and 107.5. Of course, there's also this $90 and $100 psychological resistance to break through as well. That said, the supports to watch will be 65.54 and 60.66, just above this $60 psychological support here for CWEB. And there is also CWEB is currently in the clouds. So inside the cloud, there will be some resistance and there will be some supports as well. Finally, let's move on to FXI. So FXI had a recent run from a recent high of 39.78 to a recent low of 26.13. So very similar to CWEB, you can see that there was seems like a double top here, and we started to break back down on Thursday and Friday. So 61.8% and 34.57 was not challenged, even though it went quite close to 34.30. So the next resistance to watch would be 34.57 and 36.86, and hopefully it can retest 39.78 near the $40 psychological resistance. If you will start pulling back down, in fact, on Thursday and Friday we already started pulling back down. We'll be watching towards 31.83 and 31.07. And hopefully we do not break down this $30 psychological support. If not, things will start to turn ugly. So as of now, Monday to Wednesday, we had a good rally up, but across all stocks, you can see that on Thursday and Friday, we started to pull back down quite badly. And it also came down with high volume, so that is not a good sign. Hopefully buyers can start to come in next week and is well supported just like this week. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.